Hi, this is a review of the order trading system activity for January the 28th, 2022. We had 9 trades on that day. All nine trades were buys. First trade was AI. That's C3AI Incorporated. It tripped at 11:20:08 a.m. at a price of 23.09. It closed the day at 23.33, up 3.50% and up 1.29% after hours, so that's a positive. Excuse me. And we'll have a quick look at the indicators. Indicator volume, you can see here at the end of the day it shot up, but it was up a little bit during the tripping period. The MACD tripping period was up and went sideways, downwards, and then the day went up. MACD, same thing, it was up, but you can see in the middle of the afternoon here, or a good portion of the afternoon, it actually was bouncing back and forth, and you can see a little bit of a jump at the end of the day. And Bollinger Band was saying it came up sideways and came up, technically the stock was moving mostly sideways on that day, but at least it ended the day moving up. Next trade is CSX. That's CSX Corporation, tripped at 11:36:44 a.m. at a price of 33.81. It closed the day at 34.43, up 2.59%, down 0.09% after hours, but it's still a positive. We'll have a looky at the indicators for that. Okay, volume, same thing, sideways. Excuse me. You see the jump came up a little bit during the tripping period on volume, but at the end of the day you can see chop. So we can see the end of the day looks to be active on the markets, at least with the two stocks we looked at. MACD came up, somewhat jumping up and down a little bit during most of the afternoon, and the day came up. The same thing, DI came up, bouncing back and forth and up at the end of the day. Bollinger Band up, sideways, up. So this stock actually was moving positive, but a little bit of sideways moves in the afternoon. Next trade is CBE. That's Synovus Energy Incorporated. It tripped at 12:20:11 p.m. at a price of 14.58. It closed the day at 14.44, down 0.35% and down 0.28% after hours. So, yeah, we caught it right at its ceiling. We call it at a ceiling here. Like it was at a ceiling, and then it just dropped. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Okay, so we can see volume there, and then you can see it just dropped off, and then at the end of the day, just like the other two stocks, it started making recovery at the end of the day. MACD, same thing. It came up and then dropped off and then made a recovery. DI down, 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 and then made a recovery. And Bollinger, the stock actually was making a recovery, so this gives it an indication of possibility because, well, it was negative, especially fairly strongly in the middle of the afternoon. You could see that it was starting to make a recovery, and some of the indicators were showing strong reversal. So the stock ended the day positive, but because of the afternoon downward activity, it dropped below its tripping price. Next trade is EW. That's Edwards Life Science Corporation, tripped at 12:22:39 p.m. at a price of 103.07 p.m. And it closed the day at 104.87, up 2.85% and up 0.12% after hours. So that's another positive. And we will check the indicators on that one. Volume looks good. You see at the end of the day that jump here. MACD came up, and that end of the day jump. DI end of the day. We can see that like this seems to be like a couple days ago we had a similar aspect there where in the middle of the afternoon we had this drop activity, at least the indicator showing some kind of drop activity, and then a jump at the end of the day, like near end of the day period here where it shows that the activity started to shoot up, and only that same thing. At least this one here shows it's somewhat a regular positive increase, so this stock was moving positive. Next trade is DHI. That's DR Horton Incorporated. Tripped at 1:52:16 p.m. at a price of 84.36. It closed the day at 86.05, up 2.42% and up 2.26% after hours. So that's another positive. And we will have a look at the indicators. The same thing, volume here came up, and then end of day shot up. MACD was up early morning, late morning it was shot up, came down, shot up in the middle of the afternoon, up. So same type of thing. We're seeing basically bouncing back and forth, but again we have this negative activity in the mid-afternoon, and then late afternoon, mid to late afternoon, this recovery is occurring. And Bollinger Band, so I'm saying mostly sideways. The stock also, was performing positive for most of the day. Next trade is NOW. That's ServiceNow Incorporated. Tripped at 3:09 p.m. at a price of 551.09. It closed the day at 561.08, up 6.13%, and no movement after hours. But that again is another positive as it ended the day above its tripping price. And indicator-wise, volume, not too bad. Volume shows a pretty much a steady increase. MACD, steady increase. Again, we only caught it in the afternoon here, period-wise. We see a little bit of drop here in mid-afternoon, but again, mostly positive. DI showing that little negative drop in the mid-afternoon and that rise in Bollinger Band. Same type of thing, but the stock looks like it was moving positive for a good portion of the day. Next trade is Cbna. That's Carvana company, I guess. Tripped at 3:06:53 p.m. at a price of 141.90. Closed the day at 145.99, up 3.04%, down 0.40% after hours, but that's still another positive. We'll check the indicators on this. Volume looks not too bad. You can see this jump at the end of the day, MACD up, and then dwindled down a bit during most of the afternoon period, and then the end of the day, mid to end of the day, jumped up. Same thing, there's a bit more extensive in the afternoon here, which kind of like responds to the Bollinger Band, a bit of a drop and then recovery. So, interesting. We happen to catch it down here, which is good. We caught it on its jump period down here where it came up, everything tripped possibly. Next trade is MCHP. That's Microchip Technologies Incorporated. Tripped at 3:11:18 p.m. at a price of 70.49. Closed the day at 72.22, up 1.66%, which is another positive. And we're at the end of this sheet, so let's go take a look at another sheet. 3:11:18, right stock and volume, steady incline here, but we caught the stock here in the afternoon where it was shooting up. So MACD, same thing, drop here in mid-afternoon, but again it shot up at the end of the day, mid to end of the day. DI, same thing, drop here mid-afternoon, and then recovery during the late afternoon. Bollinger Band, same thing, drop. So this stock pretty much looks like, well, Bollinger Band actually shows it was moving sideways in this jump at the end of the day. So, and that actually, with DI, with bouncing back and forth between positive and negative, that somewhat relates into a sideways movement. So, this stock ended its day positive, but a good portion of the day was moving sideways. Next trade is IVZ. That's Invesco Limited. Tripped at 3:15:06 p.m. at a price of 21.37. It closed the day at 21.72, up 0.65% and up 1.20% after hours, which had a nice jump at the after hour period, which is another positive. And the indicators for that. Okay, volume, we caught it here at the end of the day where it jumped up. MACD, same thing, this drop in mid-afternoon and then jump up mid to late afternoon. Same thing, DI, drop mid-afternoon, recovery mid-afternoon, DI. So, as you can see, all stocks pretty much behave the same way, that there was a jump at the end of the day. So, that tells you the market, there's something happened yesterday whatever it was, because you never know, because the stock markets are very peculiar in that aspect of what actually is a driving force. Like we know nowadays COVID is a big thing there, but something must have happened because across the board, the market itself recovered, which you probably would have seen. Well, the market indicators, Dow was more representative of the activity here, where you can see it dropped in the mid-afternoon and shot up. But Nasdaq also had a little bit of drop and it shot up. So, all the indicators look to be somewhat, well, most of them, one that follows the standard equities, seem to be behaving somewhat the same way. So something happened yesterday, don't know what it was. Anyways, that leaves it at 8 out of 9 positive, which is a good day. That's 89%, and with the possible, that's 100%. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.